Hey folks, welcome to your weekly video. So l- last week or tonight, we've just turned in our music therapy draft, and we are doing peer review of that as well. So we're going to work this week on translating your paper to a poster or any other research that from another class at LW Tech you want to translate. I'll get to that in a second. But you can use this paper, right, this research as your poster. Um, so we're gonna translate that this week, and next week your final draft will be due of your music therapy paper. Right, you'll get my comments this week. You'll get peer review feedback tonight, and so you'll have a week or so to work on revisions. So this week, again, we're going to work on translating our research into a poster. So let's take a look at the LW Tech Research Symposium. This is a college-wide poster symposium. It's every spring, right? And right, so you click on this LW Tech Research Symposium, and you'll get sort of a brief description of what this is, right? This is your chance to present anything that you've learned, right? Your research, your applied experiences, right? This is your chance to show that off to the community, right? The symposiums are poster presentation sessions. So this means you are standing next to a poster, your poster, and the college does help you print these, and explaining your findings or what you worked on or your hypothesis, right? So that's, in a nutshell, that's what the research symposium is. And the application is coming up. You want to submit this by March 3rd. So, right, I'll just say for the purposes of this class, I want you'll upload a template poster to Canvas for this class, right? Visualizing research that you've done. If you want to go all the way to the symposium, I highly encourage it. Why not? It's great networking opportunities. It's great stuff for your resume and cover letter. It's great skills. But I can't require that. But I will require that you will submit a poster, right, for this assignment. But feel free to go all the way. So let's take a look some more. You can apply if you've done a group project, right? You list everyone that was in that group with you, or if it's just you, it's just your name, your email address. Again, everyone in the group. What's your program of study, right? Are you nursing, allied health, automotive, sociology, English, whatever? And I want to keep this, really open. If you want to do your poster on something that you did in a nursing class or automotive or funereal, right? Like anything, or baking or cooking, right? Any project that you did, that's great, right? Because I want you to be able to use this to actually apply, right? And get in and show off, your research or work that you've done, right? So I don't want to be like, oh, you have to, use your music therapy paper, but you can if you want to. Faculty mentor. Do you have an instructor that you work with, a teacher that you work with? If not, I'm always happy to serve as your faculty mentor. So you can put my name there. Your content area of your project, right? Is it math, behavioral health, social science, biology, English, whatever? What is it? What's the title of your research project, right? So I could be like, okay, world music, music therapy, using music therapy to address immigration stress and anxiety, right? Using sort of the work I've done in this class. Please provide a draft abstract of your project. An abstract is like the summary of your introduction, what you found, your conclusion, right? So think of it as the whole summary of your paper in 1 to 300 words, right? So it's a very short summary of all of your major findings in your research paper or project that you've done here at LW Tech. And that's it, right? And then you hit submit if you actually want to go all the way. Okay, so let's take a look at all the readings this week. Support. Well, how do I translate my research or projects I've done here to a poster? And I would say, obviously pick one project or one research paper for this assignment. You can't really do two different classes or two different projects. Like, it's one project for this. So you have a lot of readings on how to write an abstract, how to make a poster, how to create a poster. I give you a template for a poster. So let me just show an example. We'll get to that one. That's my example that we'll look at in a second. Okay, so here's just a little reading on breaking down, what is a poster? What is the purpose of a poster, right? The purpose of this assignment, this poster, is to communicate or show off or publicize research that you've done or projects or work that you've done to the campus community, right? So the poster is just visualizing what you've done, either on this paper or any project or work that you've done here at the college. Think of it as it's publicizing your research or your any project that you've done here to the campus community, right? Anyone can go to the research symposium, right? You've got a lot of students, you have a lot of faculty, staff, administrators, people from the community, right? All sorts of people come to this, right? So that's the purpose, right? Think of it as this way, right? You'll see a lot of posters on websites. You'll see posters are a really easy way to show off like a project or work that's been done versus, oh, here's a 5-page version of that thing, right? Like, people are less likely to read through an academic paper or whatever than they are to like, oh, let me, take in this poster, right? Get a short read of this, and then I can ask the person questions who wrote the paper that's on the poster. Think of who your audience is, right? Again, it's the LW Tech community. So you really want to avoid any jargon, right? So you're not going to say things like, EDM. You'll spell out like electronic dance music. You wouldn't say EDM, right? So just spell out any jargon words, or you wouldn't just be like, HHT, hip hop therapy. You'd be like, I would use the phrase hip hop therapy, right? So just avoid jargon. So we'll break this down a little bit more. So think of it as your poster should have most of these boxes or fields, right? And these sort of line up to parts of your paper. So think of it as you're sort of taking your paper apart, you're simplifying, right, the major findings or the major ideas of your paper, okay? So you'll have the title at the top, right? So world music, using music therapy to address immigration stress. Then I'll have my abstract, which is the sort of summary of my whole paper, right? This was my research question, and this is what I found. Your introduction is sort of, what's the background, right? This is where you could spell out, this is what hip hop, or this is what music therapy is, this is what researchers know about it, and problems, right? Only a couple genres are used for music therapy. Hip hop, nature sounds, right? Ambient, right? Just a few genres are used, right? So that might be a problem. Why not world music, right? And why not use world music to address immigration stress? And methods, right? Here's my methods. Methods is, how did you do what you do, right? How did you attain your information? How did you do research, right? You could be like, well, I did a research review of researchers and educators and scholars writing about music therapy since 2020. So I looked at current research. I read about music therapists, right, working in the fields, right? So it's, how did you work, right? And if you're using, again, this paper, it's through research, right? You worked through research to come to these conclusions. Your conclusions is just like your conclusion, right? So what? What does this mean? Why should people care? Why is this important, right? So, this is important because, right, global music has not really been considered for music therapy. And if we want to address and treat better immigration stress and anxiety in K through 12, K through college situations, then I found that world and global music can be a great vehicle, right, to address these issues, right? And right, we have a large immigrant community in Seattle, right? So I could even really apply it to answer that. Well, so what? Who cares? Well, people in our community, right, should care about music therapy and global music, world music. And you've got your acknowledgments if you want to acknowledge anybody. And your references are, what are the main sources for your paper, right? And they should be good. They should not be Wikipedia. They should not be a .com. They should not be, right? Like, they should be credible, authoritative, educational sources, right? So this is your credibility is on the line here. Like, well, how did you, right, come to these conclusions? How did you build these ideas? How did you make these ideas? It should be through credible, reliable, authoritative sources, not, oh, well, Twitter, Wikipedia, some randoms from the internet, some .coms, a .org, I don't really know, right? It should be like .edus, okay? So that essentially breaks down, right, what should go on the poster. And I'm going to make another video. My time is running out from this one. So let me save this and come back.